thank you guys so much for coming. We're going to start off with a song that's not technically part of my capstone, but kind of what led to the whole thing. So, thank you guys. My eyes clung to the Midwest road signs on a highway in the woods. You're driving slower, but the car seems to fly, and I think it understood that you're a May baby, you're a maybe on my mind, and May's too many months. You say, baby, it's fine. Don't you think it's funny and cruel? Got so high off the way the time flew. Now I can't go back to the future with you. Wrong turn, steer right with eyes like green lights. So I pull the traffic close. It's getting later, start to tell me of poets, all the mysteries you've known. And when I look out the window, I can see us through the trees. When I look out the window, I swear you look at me. You're a May baby, you're a maybe on my mind, and May's too many months to make the last three fine. Don't you think it's funny and cruel? You first kissed me goodbye as if you knew I can't go back to the future with you. Slow down, please, I can see the small town lights blowing through the trees. 'Cause this what you meant when you swore you measured time, that you'd rather hit and run than stay and get fined. I was just your May baby, just a maybe on your mind, and May's too many months to make any other fine. Don't you think it's funny and cruel, waiting your whole life meant 2 weeks to you? Don't get me wrong, I just should've known better, proof them right down to the letter. And I just thought I was worth more to you. Sped through limits to just pass through. Whenever I look out the window, I still see us through the trees. Behind every Midwest road sign, taking you away from me. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that last song was called May Baby. So also to explain, this concert is my capstone project. Since about last spring, I've been writing poetry and having Dr. Stratman kind of critique them as poems and then putting them to music with the help of Dr. Davis, kind of just asking the questions, can poetry function as song lyrics? Can they be interchangeable? And what does that look like? So yeah, so these are about 7 songs that I've written from the last, since last spring. So this next song is called I'm Learning How to Swallow Pills. I actually did write this one around the same time as May Baby. And yeah, academically, the interesting thing with this one, I suppose, is that I focus a lot on imagery in it because it's kind of talking about an emotion. And in order to kind of capture the overwhelmingness of the emotion, I have it as kind of like a figure throughout the poem, like doing things. And yeah, it's called I'm Learning How to Swallow Pills. drip straight into my head. I brought it into everything, swamped the stairs so I could swim into bed. So I'm learning how to swallow pills. There's a leak no one can find. They'll patch me up with pipe work. I hope to join my friends outside. My books and my clothes all grew moldy. Even the ceiling fan started to droop. Mom knocked sweet dreams, but the rain in me became a puddle inside of my mouth. What do you do with the body that's been flooding the floors of the house? The door stays locked forever, but the water's seeping out. So I'm learning how to swallow pills. Hope someday they'll go down fine. I'll be half of who I am today. At least half of me's alive. Thank you. So that last song too, the interesting thing about it was, so this is Zach. Zach plays piano. And Zach played piano on my album in Nashville. And so he actually came all the way down from Nashville to play with the show. So that's super kind. He drove all the way. But you really don't really understand the songs unless, that song specifically, unless you pay attention to the lyrics, because the melody is quite happy. And so I think that was the first time in the studio where everyone like really read through the lyrics, and then it changed the song completely and how it was sounding. So it was an interesting kind of conversation between the two. But yeah, so the next song is called To the Lighthouse, and this one is a little bit of a clearer reference to books because it's named after a book and like takes place in a book that's already been written by Virginia Woolf. And I actually wrote this one in Dr. Pollard's book club for our creative project final. And then I was too scared, so I just said the poem instead, and I got a 90 instead of 100. So, because I forgot to like do a different title than To the Lighthouse, and he was like, pick a different one. Anyways, so this is called To the Lighthouse, and modernist literature kind of focuses a lot on time. So in the middle of the song, there's a time signature change to kind of represent that. But yeah, it's about a couple. It's about a husband and a wife. And kind of talks about specifically the wife and the way that the things that she's doing about the house, specifically making a dinner, is also kind of its own art form. So yeah, Virginia Woolf spends a lot of time talking about that, and like only 2 pages about death. So it's interesting. Yeah. Through the window, dinner sat still like an art. She looked through the window. We'll go tomorrow. The lighthouse ain't far. She's a stranger to weather. She turns shelters to homes. He wished she'd write letters. She only writes wrongs. We can't go tomorrow. Silly woman, all the things you don't know. Past the salt, pass from politics to poetry. Passing gazes, conversations happen silently. He's still blue with his manner until she paints his name as the centerpiece. Hues of dinner cues stain their hands as they eat her work. And time keeps on passing through the window. The weeds choke the grass. He's tossing and turning. He reaches out and there's no one to grasp. She said tomorrow, silly woman, So tomorrow to the lighthouse you go. So for this next song, I'm going to bring up my sister. It is a duet, and it's called Silly Girls. So I wrote this song with a friend in Oxford. Yeah, I should have called you up later. Hi. She had written the melody already, and I had some fragments of lyrics, and so we wanted to talk about just specifically girl friendships and how beautiful they can be. And like even to the extent that at one point we had a line in the song that had a he pronoun and we took it out because it's only about girls. So, and this is not my friend. This is my sister Katie, but she's a girl, so it still applies. And anyways, this is called Silly Girls. Waiting a while, it's dark at the bus stop, linking arms through strangers and streets. I won't demand your unanswered questions. All of your silence makes sense to me. I'll give you my coat, my cash, and my chapstick. Write you a note with nothing to say. Secrets we share, braiding your hair, saying goodnight at the end of the day. I understand you'll make new plans, but for now we have each other. When love comes to take your breath, I'll store mine in a jar to give to you, grow pink with you, together or apart. Making you tea with 2 creams and sugar, hanging your drawings up on the fridge, seeing your beauty and mine right beside it. Isn't it funny? I'm glad you exist. I understand you'll make new plans, but for now we have each other. When love comes to take your breath, I'll store mine in a jar to give to you, grow pink with you, together or apart. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so the next song is a really long title, and it's called A Chronically Online Man Discovers His Salvific Vision of Beatrice. And it used to just be called Beatrice, so Zach calls it blah, 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 Beatrice, which is really great. But so this song is interesting, and I was just talking about this in my faith integration presentation because it started out as like a first-person song where I was, so the scene is man online becomes very obsessed with a girl and like believes she can save him. And so I was first person and very first person angry throughout it, and as the girl. And so, and then, okay, and then it just wasn't doing what it was supposed to, really. And so Dr. Stratman was like helping me think through it, and so we switched to third person. And then as soon as it was third person, I found myself writing from the perspective of the man, which was interesting. So, um, it is based kind of in Dante's Inferno as well, just talking about like the idea of Beatrice, because I think I love Beatrice, I love Dante's Inferno, and when I was reading it though, for some reason I always just got like a little bit bothered whenever people would become so obsessed with Beatrice and like kind of placed her at this like really high level. But that is kind of the point, but just personally bothered me. So then I started kind of noticing like a theme, specifically with like innocence, and anyways, it's a whole thing. But it's based in Dante's Inferno to kind of help as a reference point. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. She was lit up as a picture on his screen when he called her his saint. The floor of his laptop burned him as he guessed her age. He swore the moment that he saw her, what was lost will now be found. Whether child or girl or woman, angels need a man who's down. It's a dark and lonely bedroom when she's not there. Close his blinds, speak his mind, make the keyboards blare. Mother, 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 only a woman could understand. Worship a picture of his Beatrice, pray she'll put a good word in. The comments closing on him in the trenches, and no one else has the guts to be so honest. She's alone, but he's a soldier. He's a prophet with a plan. With his Beatrice to gaze upon, he can fight off any threat. The wolves are coming, too cunning in the dark woods, and Beatrice burns her innocence as his guide, his torch, his martyr. The writing on the entrance warns, abandon all your hope, but not even hell's blue fire burns beneath the weeping girl. Thank you. So the next song I also wrote in Oxford, and it's called Perfect Thursdays, and I wrote it because I kept seeing like really cute families all around, and it was just really sweet. And I was in a train station, and I think I was looking at this family, and I was thinking through, I don't know what I was thinking through, but I realized that the way I was looking at relationships had to change, because I was just looking at like these great parents working together and being a really great team, and thinking about the ways in which who I ever end up with, if ever, like doesn't just affect me, but it affects a lot of other people as well, and my future kids and people who don't exist. So the song's just kind of thinking through that, and yeah, it always takes place in the train station. Like any time that it kind of leaves, I'm still in the train station, I'm just thinking. So yeah, it's called Perfect Thursdays. Victoria Station, and families rush to catch their train. Her husband waits for her as she's digging through her things. And if I misplaced my ticket or had bad luck with the machine, would you be late to your appointment if it meant sitting next to me? On a perfect Thursday, you'd wait for me. On a perfect Thursday, is it just a perfect Thursday? Our future kids would all wear glasses too big to fit their faces. We'd pour songs into their nostalgia and fill their heads with ancient myths. If they had a dream outside your vision, would you paint their every scheme? Or would you stare until they hear just how ridiculous they've been? I love you now. What about forever? You love me now. What about forever? I sit on the couch and move to the ground. They're in their beds when they call your name. Your pen is busy on some paperwork that's never learned to wait. They'd be bound to you through blood and home and promises you make. I'm bound to you through all these perfect Thursdays. The love that I accept today will be written on their jeans. I hear their little laughter as the train leaves. I love you now. What about forever? The train's leaving now. I hear their little laughter. Thank you. So this next song is about my parents growing old. Hello, Mom and Dad. They're definitely not old yet. Just kind of a hypothetical. And it also takes place as if I'm in college and they're growing old, but still just what if? Sorry. But more than just being about my parents, it is called Mom and Dad. It's also about, the distance that time creates as it unfolds. And I wrote it when I was driving from Branson to Salem Springs and kind of back and forth and feeling this in between and feeling like both places were kind of home at once. But both were kind of, because of that, like a little bit more distant than capital H home would be. So it's just kind of how fast time moves in little rhythms throughout my life. I kind of die at the end too, which is exciting. Spoiler, sorry. Anyways, this is called Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad fell into a rhythm last spring. It took a fall of getting used to a winter without me. And it takes a couple hours now to drive from home to home. Takes just a second longer now to find where everything belongs. Dad's clinging on to his camera, mother to stories and rhymes. I'm holding on to how small I am. We're all holding on to time. There's a guest in my childhood bedroom. The clothes in the closet still fit. And Dad doesn't run all his miles anymore. Mom walks with a scuff to her step. I'm clinging on to my camera, onto words that she left between lines. And my siblings hold on to how small I am. Wind the tapes back one last time. piano in basements, all solve a crossword at noon, until everything's moving a little too fast for steps I just can't get to move. Everyone fell into the rhythm last spring. It took a fall of getting used to a winter without me. So in the next song, I'm also dead, which I'm just now realizing this. But so a few months ago, I got hit by a truck, and I had a lot of people trying to encourage me to process it instead of joking about it. So I finally had enough, and I tried writing a song about it. And yeah, but in this song I do die, and it's based on the feeling I had after I got hit by the truck, where I was just like, you know what? I saw my family this morning, I hung out with friends today, and I just finished listening to a great concert, so I was just like, I'm very at peace. That would have been that's morbid, but that would have been a great day. And so I felt very peaceful. So I wrote the music first, and then I just wrote a few lines of the song because I felt like the music expressed it better than I could, and it's called What a Lovely End, What a Lovely Life. It's the empty peace after a headache, a stillness deep enough to crawl inside. You pull on the cold as you're walking home, into the last thing on your mind. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. That was the last song. That is my Capstone project, and thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. You all have played such a huge role in this. Special thanks to Dr. Stratman for being my advisor. Yeah. You don't want me to try to... I know nothing. Thank you guys for coming. Sorry. Oh, and thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach, as well. Again,